Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based to debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim the Chimp, Cheat Sheet Hicks, coming to you live. You know, we're based in Houston, Texas, but guess what? We're broadcasting all over the world. And Jimmy, today, I mean all over the world, we're broadcasting simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. I'm sitting there watching your comments. We got Derek Johnson and Businessman. Businessman is on the Facebook feed and YouTube. Y'all, it's just, I told y'all I was going to, and let me tell you something, Jimmy. A shout out. I tested this thing late last night, okay? Shout out to Lori Dawson and Businessman and I think Michael Jordan, the people who were on, I can't remember everybody who was on the show last night. I mean, it was late last night. I was testing this thing and those special people came on and tested, Trina Mouton. They came on and tested it with me and helped me make sure everything was okay. What's up, Angie Holcomb? Happy Women Rock Wednesday. I see Anissa Bill, the women. I'm talking to the women today. Anissa, I'm writing your name down. Anissa Bill, Angie Holcomb, Tyrandra Holmes. Jimmy, it's unbelievable just seeing all of this light up. I know you happy, but guess what? Let's get down a little business. I got something for you. I got something for you. Jimmy, I saw something last night. Look, let me tell you something. I know you be thinking I be don't understand it, but Jimmy, I found something yesterday that made me feel better about your Astros. Jimmy, listen, Jimmy. Martin Vaughn is on the show. Jimmy, I got some for you today. Now, I don't want listen. Listen. I'm not being sarcastic. You got to look in my eye. RCS Sports is in the building. On YouTube, Jimmy. I got something for you. But before I go there, Jimmy, I found something out, Jimmy. They fired your homeboy Bayline. What's the coach Beeline from what is that, Jim?
John.
Huh?
John
Beeline. John. From the Cavs. Jimmy, we already knew that was doomed. You had an interesting take on it, Jimmy. That I never look at it. That's why I like to see. That's what people don't understand. I love hearing your crazy takes because I never think like that. We think two different ways, and you had a unique take. We'll share it a little later. But Jimmy, I saw something about this, Jimmy. The Cavs have the worst record in the league, right? Only record is better than them. Wait a minute. The only record they have the worst record. The only person who's one is one worse, almost worse than them, but they just right above them. It's the Golden State Warriors, Jimmy. And the reason I said that, it made me think, what's up, Pete Ely? Life come at you fast in the NBA, Jimbo. Jimmy, when you don't have the best players on your team in the NBA, think about this, Jimmy. We not far removed from the Cavs finals, the preemptive Cavs and Warriors rematch for the 32nd time, for the 75th time straight in a year. And now they got two of the worst records in the league. Jimmy, have that ever crossed your mind? We're going to talk about that later. But Jimmy, Harold Reynolds, I know, see, you don't think I know baseball, but Harold Reynolds had an interesting take that all of you Astro haters, I want y'all to hear. Jimmy, before we start the show.
And everybody's got breakdowns from some guy showing them banging garbage cans, you name it, or the sounds of it. And I just said, all right, I'm going to fact check Carl's correct.
Situations, like pitchers study, they have their analytics to study batters. Mm-hmm. Batters have their analytics to study the pitchers. And you know from experience from having faced certain guys before. Well, Adonis Chapman is known for his fastball. That's also known as a heater. He's known for his heater. And Altuve was in there. His heater had missed like 6 times in a row. It was only one thing for him to come back with. And understand, I'm going to let Harold finish the rest because he's the pro and the seasoned pro vet at this. But watch this take. Run it.
Okay. Let me hit old Harold.
And everybody's got breakdowns from some guy showing them banging garbage cans, you name it, or the sounds of it. And I just said, all right, I'm going to fact check Carlos Correa. After I saw the first part of the interview, and he talked about Altuve's at bat. And I just went back with a baseball mind, what I would do on MLB Tonight. And I want to take you back to what I was able to find. So let's go back to that Chapman AB. All right, first he walks Springer. He throws him a slider for strike one, 87 miles an hour. And then ball one, ball two. So he's thrown 3 sliders in a row. Then he goes fastball almost to the backstop and goes to the backstop. This guy got nothing, folks. That's 97, and he's wild. So here comes Altuve. He's got Springer on first. Altuve's up, and he's got Jake Marisnick hitting behind him. You think Altuve thinks he's going to get something to hit? No. There's 2 outs, and this is the best hitter in the time. He's the MVP in the American League. 99 miles an hour fastball. All right? So what are you looking for off Chapman? You're looking for that 99-mile-an-hour heat again. He can't find it. That's 6 balls in a row. Altuve knows he's not getting anything to hit. I'm getting a breaking ball here. Looks it in. Who's sitting on the on-deck circle? Jake Marisnick hitting 190. You think Altuve thinks he's getting a fastball from Chapman? No. He gets a hanging breaking ball and hammers it. I'm sorry, folks, but that's anybody in the big leagues is hitting that off of Chapman. It's a terrible pitch. So throw away the theories of buzzers and tip pitches and all that. Just baseball-wise, this is the MVP of the league. He hits a hanging breaking ball. Now let's go to this. Correa said he was the first one out there to see him, right? Altuve looks right at him. What's he got underneath his shirt anyway? I went real close. I wanted to see. Oh, there's an M right there. I had no idea that was Melanie until right now with the tweets. But that is a little bit of an M. But the point I was going to make before was he had his shirt. He is shirtless. There's no shirt underneath it. So we go through all this thing. Everybody said he ran right to the dugout. No, he didn't. He's on the field running around, celebrating all over the place, hanging out with everybody. He didn't run straight to the dugout. Look how long he was on the field. If I got a buzzer, I'm getting off the field. All right? So he's on the field, the homer. This is all the replays.
Now, Jimmy, hey, I told you, I had to share that with y'all because it made so much sense to me. You know, and Harold Reynolds don't have no affiliations with the Astros. But it made sense. If you know anything about baseball, even the pedestrians like me, if you know anything about baseball, I know that much. And I thought it was a unique take, Jimmy, and I just wanted to, get it. I don't want to start the show out. See, now I want you to do me like that sometime. I want you to come in here when you talking about James Harden, you always talking about, come in and one day just said, I know it's hard. Come in. Oh, I got some. Hey, did y'all see my boy? Speaking of James Harden, him and Russ in the GQ. You know I got it queued up. So whenever y'all get a little crazy, you say something about the Rockets, they on GQ, man. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But Jimmy, what you got, baby? Martin Vaughn said, Jimmy, the quality seems better than Facebook. Guess what? That's why we just giving you, we just giving you double for what you said, Jimmy, double for your trouble.
Yeah. And that's, as you see, now you guys have to help us to help be able to expand the reach of the Chop Shop by sharing the show. And that's important because that way it's always going to be every day somebody who don't know about the Chop Shop.
Yes.
These guys. We're gonna dive right into it. And once again, share the show to your timelines, to your friends, and to your pages. Also subscribe to our YouTube page as well. ChopShopHTX. That's it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So now we're streaming live.
Yeah.
Both ways. And the comments and the conversations are going on both. Both ways.
Going on both. Yeah.
So there you go. And
Jimmy, tell them on YouTube, y'all give us a thumbs up or hit the button. It's something, because I'm not used to it that much. It's something you can let us know that you're here and let us know what's going on. Everybody.
It's a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now you have it. Now, speaking of Women Rock Women, let's get some women news out of the way.
Okay.
Shout out to the Baylor Bears women's basketball team. Of course, the men's are in order for accolades and acknowledgments as well with their big win last night over OU. But the women, Kim Mulkey, became the fastest coach in Division I basketball history, men or women, to reach 600 wins. She reached 600 wins in her 700 game, right? Just put that in perspective. She's coached, right, for 700 games, and she's in 20 seasons at Baylor. I remember Kim Mulkey back in Louisiana Tech with the Shirley Temples with the long plaits coming down her back. She was rolling. We had a girl that from H-Town that played back in those days at Louisiana Tech. Believe it or not, Louisiana Tech was a powerhouse in women's basketball back in the 80s. We had a girl named Deborah, I want to say Deborah White from out of Houston, Austin High School. Hannah, this girl was the L.J. Cryer of hoops back in the days, and we're going to talk about L.J. Cryer later on. But Baylor, give you some things about Kim Mulkey. 600 wins in 700 games. Also, she passed Adolph Rupp, was the previous leader in that category. Adolph Rupp had done it in 876 games. Follow me. It took Adolph Rupp roughly 176 more games to get his 600 win than Kim Mulkey did at Baylor. We got Gino. We knew UConn was a power, but think about how Baylor, we just don't look at Baylor. Now it's time. The egg should have hatched a long time ago for all of us with the Baylor Bears women basketball team. Here's why. Gino, his 600 win came on his 716th game, which is in the same range. That's compatible. 16 games later, right? But you realize that Gino's been there for 35 years. Right? Right? And with the UConn Huskies. So, and Adolph Rupp, I mentioned him. You know how long Adolph Rupp coached at Kentucky, guys? How about 42 years?
Redneck, keep going. Redneck, keep going.
Years. So shout out to Kim Mulkey, and I hope she can bring back that. She used to have an annual a crawfish ball that's off the charts. I'm talking, it's like going to Bro Bridge or Lafayette. I hope she bring it back. She stopped doing it because her son was a baseball star at LSU, and he's graduated now. I think he's playing in the minor leagues. Well, she stopped doing it because that would be right in the midst of baseball season when she did her annual crawfish ball. The LSU, you had to go on the road, watch her baby. So I hope Kim Mulkey, now you bring that crawfish ball back.
And so Jimmy, she also has a local flavor. The young kid plays for the Sac Creek kid. That's his sister.
Yeah.
That plays on the team. I don't know her name.
Dee Richards.
Richards. She can ball, Jimmy.
Yeah, Dee Richards. Baylor, understand, Baylor has long had a pipeline out of Texas, out of Greater Houston. Climaxed by Brittany Griner back in 2006, 7, something like that, when Brittany Griner came out. And I want to say 2007. That's when Brittany Griner came out. Yeah, because her and Kelsey Bone was graduated the same class. Kelsey Bone played at Dulles, and during that time, you also had the girl from Seco Ranch, the girl from Jones High School at that time. North Shore had a girl that was the star back then, named I think Lauren or something like that. But shout out, that's my Women Rock Wednesday for today. We're gonna dive right into some good stuff, and I know you guys can't wait because the high school playoffs.
Jimmy, as I said, that man yelled out redneck. I was talking about Adolph Rupp. Jimmy mentioned Adolph Rupp. If you go back and watch them Kentucky movies, go back and watch. Go back in your history. Adolph Rupp is the one. Go back and watch Glory Road, and then you'll know what I mean by Adolph Rupp being a redneck.
Well, one of the things we have is want to give a shout out also to New Caney High School girls. New Caney. Last night, they won their playoff game.
Okay.
Right. For the first and makes the second round of the playoffs. time in 15 years. Shout out to New Caney. They're getting it done. We're showing them love out there. Abigail Lynch and Michaela Leffridge and all the rest of those girls. Shout out to them. Also, I noticed something last night. Remember now, we talking about the girls, Women Rock Wins. We're going to talk about a lot of other stuff after a while. I want to get some girl stuff, female stuff out of the way, guys.
Okay.
And it's important to a lot of people. May not just let's come on and rock with us as we go through this and show love to some females on Women Rock Wednesday. How about this? We mentioned Side Creek. That's the number one team in the area. The playoffs started for girls technically on Monday, but last night most of the teams played on Tuesday. Side Creek beat Lamar out of Houston HISD 91-22.
Wait a minute, a playoff game?
Yeah, 91-22. Alan, these girls are good.
Wait a minute, Side Creek played last night?
Yeah.
My girl, Ken Skills.
Yeah.
Kendall Hunter.
Yeah.
Hey,
91-22. How about this? HISD had 3 of the 4 teams in the Class 6A lost in the first round. We just mentioned to you Lamar went down.
Say it ain't so, Jim.
Bel Air loses to Jersey Village 60-43. West Side loses to Cy-Fair 66-63. The Heights, who won the district, it used to be called Reagan High School. Heights won the girls' district for the first time in history. Shout out to the Heights girls. And they won the first round game as well.
Change your guard. Keep going.
Gentrification is already proving results for the Heights. And if you guys, just one of the angles and one of the topics I want to shoot out there to you guys today is, do you think that gentrification will touch and affect Yates High School on the other side in such fashion?
Jimmy, Trey said, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Trey said Bel Air advanced. They won. Bel Air won?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking, according to the Houston Chronicle.
Okay.
Thank you, Trey. The Houston Chronicle may have the scores for it. I've seen it happen before.
They said Heights, Bel Air, Cashmere, your school, and Yates all advanced.
Hold on. Say it again. Who else advanced?
Heights, Bel Air, and Yates.
No. Cashmere. The Lady Rams. They might beat the boys. The boys ain't won a game. Cashmere beat West Columbia last night. The girls did.
Okay.
And also, shout out to those girls. Jack Yates, 95-36. The young ladies won their first round game. And Ashley says she want to discuss how Yates girls have scored 90 plus in multiple games, beating teams by 50 plus points a game. Ashley, who's the favorite in 4A? Who give me the 2 favorites in girls 4A this year?
Okay.
This year. Because I want to know who to watch. I've heard that Hardin Jefferson has some pretty good girls. You know? Let me know so that we'll know. That way, this Yates team, the Yates girls, do they have a realistic chance of advancing to the state tournament? I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about that. And Ashley says, no, the Midtown people are not coming to Yates or the real Third Ward. You don't really believe that. Understand the timing of this, Ashley. They built a brand new school. They renamed the area to the, what they call it, Hatter? The
economic corridor.
Corridor.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's not called Third Ward.
Yeah.
To the people that are moving in anymore. You got to pay attention.
Yeah.
Dowling Street, I understand it. That's rightfully so, because Dick Dowling, remember they changed a lot of the names on the schools because of Confederacy and their relations. So Dick Dowling, they renamed Dowling Street, which I'm down with that. But look what they called it.
Emancipation. But Jimmy, Emancipation Park is there. And that's one
Emancipation Park, remember, who founded Emancipation Park?
Who? I don't know.
Dr. Jack Yates.
Dr. Jack Yates was a bad dude, man.
Jack Yates founded it. He bought the land. and founded. He lived in Freedmanstown
Jimmy,
in Fourth Ward.
and he the one that founded the Antioch Church.
Yeah,
I
right
didn't
around the
know
corner
that.
from where he's buried right
See,
now.
I don't know Texas history that much, but man, Jack Yates was a bad. Hold up. I don't know how long he lived, but Jimmy, he did a lot in his little time. His time he had on Earth also.
And Marcus say Yates lacks depth, but we are going to give them hell. That's Rod say Hardin Jefferson and Yates girls are the favorites in 4A. Are they on the same side of the bracket, or will they meet until regional? This Hardin Jefferson team. Are they on opposite sides of the bracket or on the same side? If somebody can let me know. And Doug Jones says, shout out to Big Doug.
What up,
He
Daddy?
says Ashton Jackson and Hardin Jefferson is one of the best sophomores in the. So she's in the 10th grade. Boy, they gonna make me have to go to one of these girls' games. Another one.
I'm going to Seaside Creek.
And I want to give a shout out to the young ladies over at Humble ISD. Atascocita picked up a first round win over Beaumont Westbrook as Summer Creek beat Deer Park 72-38. And my young niece is over at Summer Creek, Maylin Wilkerson. Maylin Wilkerson is the daughter, she's the granddaughter of the guy, anybody from the north side back in the days, they know Jukebox. Everybody knows Jukebox. Jukebox is the founder of Miller Record Service. If your car broke down on that north side, you call it Miller Record Service back in the days, and still right now, they're still in business. Well, Jukebox, his name is Robert Miller. That's the grandfather of young Maylin Richardson.
Jimmy, and they say she's the best 10th grade in the country.
In the country?
Some young lady, they talk.
Ashlyn Jackson?
Somebody just posted that. I put it on the screen. Wait, let me see. That dude, you know we don't know your handles on YouTube yet, so we got to get used to them. So I'm trying to work that out. But that dude says she's the best 10th grade in the country. Who else we got on Facebook, on YouTube? Angie Hogan on both. She said Facebook is horrible. YouTube is stream. Angie. Angie said Facebook is horrible. YouTube stream much better. YouTube is made for streaming.
Yeah, that's what it's made for.
So that's why we brainstorm. If y'all don't understand how we brainstorm over this thing, and we got it done. Got it done. What else you got, Jim?
I got a question. How are if Yates and Hardin Jefferson are the two favorites, then how are they on the same side of the bracket? That means both of them could not have won their districts because Yates boys and Silsby boys were coming into the season with two of the favorites, and that means they would not meet until the regionals in Huntsville. So how is Yates girls and Hardin Jefferson girls, how are they become the two favorites if they both on the same side of the bracket? Y'all got to explain that to me now. Because somebody got something to say about that, one of those other schools, because who came in second? There you go, Rod. Thank you. Because somebody said we're on the same side. I want to make sure. That's Marcus Brooks. Don't give us no bad dope now. We already had one batch. I didn't serve with the Bel Air, thanks to the Houston Chronicle, printing the scores out incorrectly. And that's happened a lot, though. I mean, this happens. Because somebody calls the scores in, and it could easily get them mixed up. And so, thanks. But anyway, guys, it's fun rocking with these girls. We shocked you today. Shout out to Trey Phillips. He's on both feeds. He's on he's over in the YouTube.
Yeah. Hey, guess what, Jimmy?
This girl is a major D1 lock. This girl, Ashlyn Jackson. And who would you compare her to? Doug and Trey and
Jimmy, give me her school. Let me write that school down. What's her?
HJ. She had HJ.
What's HJ?
Hardin.
Okay. Where is that, Jimmy?
That's down in Southeast Texas, down near Silsby.
Oh, okay. No, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, that's the top now. Once again, we have the brackets on the website for the boys. The boys playoffs are not set to start until Monday. A lot of teams, have the option to flip for either Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday, as I mentioned yesterday, is a conventional day because that way some of the high schools get an extra day to implement their practice, or their game plans. And because they're going to practice on Saturday, they're going to practice on Friday, but it's a lot of practices. So some teams you got to realize there's some teams that's going to be off for 10 days before the playoffs. Just say if you had a district game and you had your bye was the last district game. That means you didn't even play this week. And that's kind of spooky for some kids. These are teenagers. They can forget stuff. They can forget, they can get sidetracked, lack of focus, their conditioning, missing, it can take a toll. But we have the updated brackets posted on rcssports.com. Yes, we've updated the brackets this morning, and a lot of and Hatter,
yes, sir.
I printed me a couple of copies of different ones, and we have the matchups for a lot of them as they come in, and we're updating more. I think Doug will be updating it while we on the air. For certain people are flipping coins and settling things right now. But for starters, for the boys' side, Maid Creek is playing Cinco Ranch in a play-in game on Friday.
These are
boys.
Boys. I got a chance to see Maid Creek last night, Jimmy, for the first time. I got some interesting comments from that game, but keep going.
We don't last game in just a second.
Okay.
I want to give you guys something. So remember, Cinco Ranch and Maid Creek are tied for 4.
Okay.
They have to play each other for the right to go advance into the postseason. The winner will play Travis.
Okay.
I watched Travis last night play Bush. I'll tell you guys about that game after a while. Now, once again, Maid Creek versus Cinco Ranch, Friday, 7 p.m. at Katie Taylor High School. That's a game to see if you're living on that side. There's a couple of other play-in games. I know Nederland is playing Port Arthur Memorial. I don't have the details on that. If somebody's watching, no, they're not. Nederland has conceded first place. So Port Arthur Memorial will be the number 1 seed, and they will play Friendswood on Tuesday. Thank you, Doug, for that breaking news out of Southeast Texas. Once again, Shadow Creek and Hightower. Remember yesterday, guys, I told you guys I didn't see them playing that game. And they didn't. They solved it between Shadow Creek and Hightower, and Shadow Creek takes the 1 seed, and Hightower takes the 2 seed. So Shadow Creek will play a doubleheader. Actually, they're both playing a doubleheader. So that lets you guys know that the coaches are in a much better space than they were leading into the season. And our props to both gentlemen for being able to do the right thing. And just, sometimes you don't forget, but you move past certain stuff. And that's what they did. So shout out to Coach Woods, Coach President. Hold up,
Jimmy. I'm so busy with both screens. You know I wanted to hear that news. Tell me what happened.
Well, Shadow Creek and Hightower.
Okay.
They were tied for first.
Yes.
They opted not to play each other the tiebreaker.
Okay.
They're going to rest.
Okay.
And they're going to take out the time instead of playing. That could be one night they could go and scout.
Yeah.
However, Port Arthur Memorial, thanks to the Chop Shop, their coach heard what we were saying yesterday.
You talk too much, Jim.
No, you talk too much. Big mouth ass. Said they're going to give up the game. and they went and said, you know what? Them jokers ain't going to come and just sit back and relax and scout us. We ain't going to play either.
Wow.
So that's what they're going to do. So now, remember now, Hightower flipped and won the coin flip for Monday. This was Hightower's idea.
Okay.
They won the coin flip for Monday.
Okay.
So they will play on Monday. That means, and Shadow Creek was playing on Monday as well.
Okay.
So once
It's a
again,
doubleheader.
and guess what time Hightower was playing?
After them.
6 o'clock.
No.
I'm sorry. Shadow Creek playing at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hightower playing at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
That means if you come in to see them play, you got to end practice early on that Monday. Now, if I'm pull out the Memorial, what do? Do you flip for Monday as well? Or do you go for Tuesday so you can come and get your scout, but you're giving them a scout as well? This is going to be really interesting.
Jimmy, you know what, man? Why you put that off on me? I don't know nothing about all that mess. You sat there and ran your mouth and talked. I said, wow. I knew, hey, that's just the way it is. Okay, so I see, guess what? I get to cheer for both of them. I get to cheer for Will, and I get to cheer for Hightower. So guess what? I'm good. What else you got?
Yeah, and the location, I'm sorry, the location will be at Butler Field House.
Butler Field House, okay.
That's a doubleheader Monday, 6 p.m., Shadow Creek versus Houston Austin, followed by Hightower versus Sharpstown. Let me tell you guys something. That Sharpstown team is very talented. They feature Josh Farmer. That's the guy who John Urey went viral on the internet saying that Josh Farmer is the best 11th grade big man in the state.
I like him.
Well, guess what? Josh Farmer will get his chance to dance against Chris Collins, Jai Robinson, and Nick Hale, and the rest of those guys at Hightower. He's going to get his chance to dance.
Cameron Collins. We can throw bodies at him. Markel James. We can throw, Hightower can throw bodies at him.
I said Chris Collins. I meant Cameron Collins.
Yeah. It's Chris Harris. Chris Harris.
Yeah, Chris, I got him across the name.
That's all right. I got you.
Sharpstown, they're not deep. They only suit about 8 guys. I would expect that most teams, they're going to move up some JV guys probably. That's how you do that. Reward those guys and make the bench look a little better than what it is. But I saw them play last week, and they only suited up 8. Now, I don't know if no pass, no play affected them or not, but the team is good with those 5, but those guys are going to get winded. And that's what I think Hightower will just roll on away. But don't get it twisted now. This is a scary.
Oh, yeah. Very athletic. Yeah. But you know what's so unique about it, Jimmy? Hightower has played teams like that, and they know how to play teams like that. So that's the unique thing. You think about how athletic Shadow Creek is and how these guys get after you. So I think Coach Wood's going to have the troops ready to roll, Jimmy. Let me tell you something. I can't wait.
And when we go and address some of the comments in the Boom Boom Room on the YouTube side, give a shout to the YouTube Boom Boom Room, Alan, and you give a shout to some of the people on the Facebook side. I'm on some of the comments and questions.
Okay.
And one of them is where it go? On the girls, King Stick says, I got Shadow Creek girls all the way. He say the Shadow Creek girls are the real deal. Now, Shadow Creek and Hightower girls also finished 1 and 2, respectively, in their district. And I haven't seen Shadow Creek. I saw Hightower play last year when they lost to Beaumont Ozen. I'm sorry, that wasn't Ozen. That was it's one of the Beaumont schools I saw them play against. But Matt, I'm looking at it.
And Doug Jones said, I guess we were talking about Sharpstown. The starting 5 might be one of the best in the city.
No. I mean, for real.
Okay.
They're good, but then look, the guys are going to get tired. If they found a way, it's Sharpstown.
Jimmy, we don't need no more. You know what? You're giving way too much game. Let's talk about something else. Talk about another team.
I just put it like this. At the end of that game, Sharpstown, for them to have a chance to win, they should have no timeouts left by the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Yeah, that's the only way they can have a chance.
You had to run your mouth. Okay, go on. That's all right.
Shout out to Olga Fuentes up in Jonathan Chop Shop Room and Killer Lawton telling Coach Woods over at Hightower, we will not play. We are the number 1 seed. Nederland.
I saw that. I saw that.
So that means that Port Arthur Memorial, once again, is on the side, right? No. If they won, that means they're going to play Hightower.
Who?
Port Arthur Memorial. So Port Arthur Memorial, I'm understanding, has the #1 seed in the boys' side. Boys. That means Port Arthur Memorial and Hightower are on a collision course for the second round. I'm going to tell you guys right now. Kenneth Lofton, you listening? Stephen Woods, you're listening. To make this thing simple, y'all could do one or two things. Y'all could play that game, probably the halfway mark. Lee College would be one option, right? That's in Baytown. The second option would be Phillips Fieldhouse. A third option would be the Campbell Center. I keep telling you guys, get you a game in the Campbell Center. All right, Port Arthur, hold on. Didn't Port Arthur play? Did they play in the season opener, Adam?
Yes.
Didn't Port Arthur Memorial play in the season opener?
Yes. What's the point? That's what Kenny Lawson? Yeah, you know Doug gonna have them in there.
Well, guess what? So you both have played in the Campbell Center, so it's not really a big necessity to play there again. But I would check that out. And
This is a great part of the season. This is an exciting part of the season, Jim.
If you guys out there watching and you think of a good neutral location, some coaches ain't thinking like that. They're gonna let some ADs run the stuff. They're gonna pick the schools for the coach. When the coach has all power to nominate his own neutral site. I said it again. Every coach has the first initial right to do that. But sometimes I've seen districts where they defer and let the AD recommend, well, y'all should play here. Y'all should do this. Y'all should do this. No. Play where you're comfortable. Because if you're used to playing in gymnasiums, school gymnasiums, then why the hell would you agree to a neutral site at a coliseum? Think about that for a second. Your kids aren't used to that background. You do that on your own terms on a game because if you're playing against another school and they played in coliseums, it will affect some of their players less than it will affect yours. You could best believe that. Then you come out the game and say, man, I knew we shouldn't have played here.
And Jimmy, Kenneth Lofton say, I'm just a parent, I ain't the coach. And he was just letting you know I don't run nothing but my shoes over. But Jimmy, I saw something unique. Martin Vaughn said, Jimmy, when is the boys state tournament? He said he gonna come in from Phoenix. Martin Vaughn.
Yeah, well, the boys state tournament is on the weekend of the March the 13th. That's in San Antonio, not in Austin, in San Antonio, Texas, at the Alamo Dome. That's the weekend of March the 13th. So I want to say March the 12th is that Thursday, is the first games of the boys state tournament. And guess what, Martin? If you're coming down, I'll let you know. You hit me on the DM. I got a huge party. I call it a good spread that I do every year. I've done every year for the past 3 years down in San Antonio, wall to wall. Wall to wall. And I got it. And one thing I do, people know, I got the first round for everybody that come through the door.
What if you don't drink?
You're going to put something in there.
No, what if you don't drink? What about the people who don't drink?
Water?
All you alcoholics, y'all got to start doing something to the people who don't drink, man. You know? No. Hey, we'll negotiate that.
Shout out to Slim McDonough out there, Kevin Freeman. I see you. Michael Smith with the Robert Horry Sports Medicine and Rehab is in the building. Shout out to those guys. And they are doing, another thing.
Yes, sir.
Doing great things.
Yes.
Robert Horry Sports Medicine and Rehab. Yeah. They'll be out this weekend with the middle school city championship. Mm-hmm. And
Jimmy,
let me tell you,
in conjunction, though, with St. Joseph Hospital.
In conjunction with St. Joseph Hospital. Yeah. And in St. Joseph's Hospital, understand something. If somebody get into an accident, you need an ambulance, right? they're going to take you where they want to take you. Unless you have once again, you have the right to tell that ambulance, take that person to this hospital or take them to that hospital. Take them to that hospital. Don't let nobody take your loved one to LBJ or Bentar. Take them to St. Joseph's Hospital right in the middle of downtown. A good hospital. Great hospital. And happen to be where Robert Ory Sports Medicine and Rehab have their central offices based in. Shout out to them. They're doing great things in the community. Also, let's talk some more playoffs. Remember, I told you guys the playoffs, we have the brackets updated on. I'm going to give you a couple more games on that are already finalized. Hampshire, Fournette, and Huffman, that's Class 4A. They're going to play Tuesday, 7 p.m. at East Chambers High School. We have a lot of 6A matchups confirmed. We have Martin Ranch and Elkins will play Monday at the Merrill Center in Katy. This is Monday. Also on Monday is Ridge Point and Tompkins will play Monday at 7 p.m. at Wheeler Fieldhouse. On Tuesday, is the following games have been confirmed. I told you guys Travis will play the winner of Martin Ranch, Travis will play the winner of Maid Creek and Cinco Ranch.
Okay. They
will play, it's 5:30 Tuesday at Coleman Coliseum. That's a doubleheader. You get $2 followed by Katy and Bush will play at 7.
Well, what'd you say about Martin Ranch? What'd you say about
Martin Ranch playing Elkins Monday at 7 p.m. at the Merrill Center.
Okay.
Monday at 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. Now, we're talking Tuesday games now. I just gave you Katy and Bush Tuesday at 7 p.m. How about Dickinson and Hastings is part of a doubleheader at Hobson Fieldhouse. Hobson is located on the campus of Hightower High School. Dickinson and Hastings at 6 p.m. That game is followed by Clear Lake and Elsik. So the two A-Leaf schools, which was easy to do when you have two schools from the same district, the AD would love to. That way it compounds their fan base. Because by default, some of the Elsik fans would be there rooting, just observing Hastings, may very well root for them, and vice versa. So that's why certain districts root for or try to flip for or agree on the double headers. Now that's on Tuesday. Also, how about Clear Creek and Pearland, 7 p.m. at Phillips Fieldhouse? That's Tuesday. George Ranch and Clearbrook at Dawson High School on Tuesday at 8 p.m. That's George Ranch finished tied for first with Elsik, I think, yeah, and Elsik won the flip. And Coach Greg Wise, shout out to Coach Greg Wise and Jack Gates. He's watching the Chop Shop right now.
Wise.
And Greg Wise, and they've 17 games in a row. Yates boys has scored 100 points or more. They got 102 in their last district game against North Forest. And I think I'm liking this playoff. It's because it's kind of like this season felt like it was so long, like playoffs would never come.
Not to me.
Now here we are. Now speaking of last night, Adam,
what?
You was on the west side. I made 2 games last night. I went back in the old.
Jimmy, I made 2 games. Jimmy, I think that the highway patrol and all of them people. When I parked that car at my second stop, I didn't even go back out there because I know I left all of them in a cloud of dust trying to get on the other side and wait till I tell you what I saw at the end of the Hightower game. But I got a chance to go see L.J. Cryer score his 50 points last night. Jimmy, he had 50 and 10 last night. 50 and 10. It was senior night. Hold up, senior night. And it just, hold up, I got something for y'all. got a little pic for y'all. Him and his mom and dad. It was senior night. They was in that last night. Jimmy, the man. Hey, y'all. Big Eddie was back. A little winded. But let me tell you something. And I know you always had high hopes for Morton Ranch. I know that was your team. Because you always, that's what I like about it. People think you be hating on other teams, but you always want teams that can go in advance. So the more they advance, the more stuff you can talk.
Yeah.
The more you can talk about you bet your right pocket and all that old kind of stuff. So unique situation. I mean, it was a great game. Wesley Saunders, Adrian Caldwell Jr., what is his name? Ethan Siflet. I mean, all of those guys, man, they concentrate. And Jimmy, but what I saw, see, I ain't never seen. Hey, y'all might know this. I've never seen Coach Favre coach before. I did not know he was that, let me say, animated. I got a video, but I ain't gonna show it. But show it to Jimmy, and But y'all, I did not know Favre raised that much hell on the sideline.
No.
Favre, where you at today, man? Dude, and get what somebody told me. He done calmed down. I said, hell, you can't get no worse than that. Hey, y'all, when he back on the show, y'all got to mess with Favre. Jimmy, you didn't tell me that. I'd never seen him act like that, man. That man must wanted to win that game last night bad as it. Hey, Jimmy, the game was close. And then somehow, LJ Crowd must have looked at the clock and said, all right, it's LJ time. Jimmy, did you see his stats? Jimmy.
Yeah, I saw. I have a copy of the scorebook,
Jimmy,
and from last night.
Jimmy, he didn't miss.
And I can pull it up.
He had 50. He didn't miss many, Jimmy.
Well, I have a stat sheet. I have a copy of the scorebook. Scorebook doesn't have how many he missed and how many he made.
Let me show you what Coach did. Coach sent it. I think he sent it out. Hold up. The coach for the team, Jimmy. I got it, y'all. Here it is. He was 10 of 13 from 2-point land, Jimmy. 10 of 13 from 2-point. 77%. He was 8 of 12 from the 3-point from 3-point. Jimmy, those are unbelievable. All the B. Scotts of the world are talking about the people shooting out the ball. Jimmy, in the first half, LJ said, man, y'all get your game off. See, what parents and people we don't understand, some people just can't hit shots like other people. Jimmy, do you look what that guy was doing? I'd rather him shoot all my balls. Parents, B. Scott, you always running your mouth about he shot out what the other players shoot. He gave them a chance to shoot. They were missing. Then he said, okay now. Hold up, Jimmy. When everybody else was shooting, it was 33 to 32. When LJ clicked that switch, that's when the thing went on and on and on and on. Y'all, sometimes instead of just watching, you know how we just see somebody score a lot of points. Well, what did the other players have? What did they shoot? Let me tell you something. Chris Walker said something very key I always miss. He said, man, my shooters on my team gonna shoot. He said, let me tell you something. My makers on the team gonna shoot. He said, in players sometime, your LJ Crowd's misses is better than Lil Johnny's makes. Let me repeat that. LJ Crowd's misses, which he don't miss too many, is better than Lil Johnny's makes. So sometimes when we see these guys scoring these high scores, these guys are the guys that's capable of doing it. I can give Lil Johnny all the shots he want. I can give your little son all the shots he want. He still won't score 50 points. I can give him 50 shots and he still might not score 50 points. So let's understand, man, when we're talking about this stuff, basketball is not an equal opportunity. Thank you, Todd Holmes. Equal opportunity sport. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. The best players, the best makers are the ones that they shooting the ball. But Jimmy, I just had to add that. And Jimmy, and then hold up. I got in the car, raced over. Oh, so I went from Jimmy, Morton Ranch to Hightower. You know how much of a trek that is. Like I said, it's some DPS in my wake. I was gone.
So hold on. What time did Martin Ranch game start?
7 o'clock.
What time did Hightower game start?
It was delayed. Overtime, thank you, Jesus. Overtime in the JV game and all of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy, I didn't get there. Jimmy, seemed like I got there at Bryce Grigg's time. Because it was senior night. You know, the senior started or whatever. He didn't have his groove. Jimmy, as soon as I walked in the door, right there in front of me, right where I'm sitting and standing, Jimmy, Chris Harris they was down by 2, something like that. Chris Harris gave Bryce a pass in the corner, down by 1. Bryce hit a deep, deep 3 from the corner, like he had been doing that the whole night, but that was the first 3 he didn't hit the whole night. Hey, let me tell y'all something. It couldn't be no better for me. Watch a kid go 50, then go watch my young fella go and ice the game and send Manville wherever they're going. What place Manville is in, Jimmy? Manville, let me tell you something. Manville always give Hightower problems, Jimmy. It was a buzzer beater the last game. Some teams just have your number. You follow me? Some teams just have your number, but great. I had a great night in basketball last night. Great night. What else you got?
Well, one of the things and the reason we mentioned on the LJ Cryer and his shots, because there's been far too long in the effort for some people to maybe add clarity or discredit or whatever you call that all he does is just shoot. And to score 50 points on 25 shot attempts is rather efficient in a money game, which understand 2 things are going on. Martin Ranch as a team is trying to remain undefeated. Don't get this twisted. If you're undefeated, you're playing your last district game. You're trying to clean the slate and continue that and close it on out. The team that they're playing against was in 4th place. If that team had won, it was a 1-point game at halftime. 1-point game or 1 possession game at halftime of this game. This was a competitive atmosphere. Of course, Martin Ranch ended up pulling it off by, I think, 17 points, something like that. But it's a 1-point game. Made Creek needed to win this game to get in. Made Creek may not make the playoffs if they lose to Cinco Ranch. They won't make the playoffs if they lose. Now, they're in a situation where it's do or die. Lastly, speaking of El Cryer, you're talking about a young man who's in a situation that, and I tried to shed light on this last night. Yesterday, after last night, he's sitting on 3,393 points. 3,393. He's number 5 right now. He's moved from 7 to number 5 all time in the state of Texas scoring. I say that again. LJ Cryer. So understand one thing. Just like if you felt Jack Yates fans, y'all pay attention to me real fast.
Okay.
When you guys were in the midst of chasing the streak of 100-point games in a row, a lot of people were frowning upon Jack Yates Man, that's wrong. They need to remember. Even the own school district were running the clock and implementing the running the clock rules. In a couple of occasions during the timeouts. That means they're hindering. They're enabling the other team to try to close this and stop this streak. Right? There's no game to be played after your game. Yates didn't play no 5:30 games this year down in district. They played the last game. There were games before them, but never after them. Not that I know of.
Jimmy, how many points he got again? Cause somebody didn't know. How many?
3,393.
Okay. Thank you.
3,393. Mm-hmm. So once again, Jack Yates, when you were in the midst of your run, some people were feeling some kind of way. Now, what I did, I shed light on him because I went to one of the games and I saw the dynamic of how that was rallying and gelling some of your bench and your fans together. Each game, Yates, the fans were starting to come out. Yates have that fan base now that they had 2 years ago. They have that fan base they had a year ago at this time. But now they're rooting for, because everybody's buying back in. A lot of people say, man, I'm not going to see them dudes, man. They broke my heart last year. They went and got the state. So my point is, you guys were trying to get this record, and it was good for the soul, of the inner soul of your program. LJ Cry saw himself, and it became known that you could go and become one of the top 10 scorers of all time in the midst of winning. If LJ Cry was doing the Trae Young, meaning that you scoring like this and your team in last place, I don't know how it would rest with me. I would be mixed on it. I don't know. But he's winning.
Yes.
And he's doing this. And the team, they want him to shoot.
Yes. Great.
You know why? Because they know if he's not open or if he's off, he will drive and get to the free throw line, or he would dish it.
Yeah.
So my thing is about this record. He's in 5th place now.
Okay.
So that's 33-93.
Okay.
He's 158 points shy of 4th place of all time. So he's 158 points behind. Now, that means that Martin Ranch would have to roughly get 4 rounds deep into the playoff. They have to get to the regional tournament.
He can get 3 if you have 50 a game.
No, I'm thinking at 40 a clip. 40 a clip will get him 160.
Okay.
That would put him in 4th place. He's not catching 1st place.
Right.
But that's the goal. And what they're doing is they're raising the bar.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like lifting weights. He's got 4 wheels off his chest. Add 2 more wheels. Let's keep going. 6 wheels, 2 more wheels. Matter of fact, put 4 wheels on there. I got 10 wheels off this thing. That's what he's doing now. And so it should be, if you're a nominal fan, it should be embraced. Because I'm going to explain to you, I'm going to share with you the years of which these 4 guys that are ahead of LJ set these scoring marks. The 4th place guy, right?
Okay.
His name is Chuck Hall.
Okay.
He's from Crum High School. Crum, and some of you guys out there, you might can help me out because I don't have it in front of me. What classification is Crum High School?
I've never heard of it.
I want to say it's 4A or 3A. I'm not sure. That was in 1976 to 1979.
Okay.
This guy, Chuck Hall. 3rd place, Greg Powell, was at Shelbyville High School. In 1965 to 1968. 2nd place is Galvin Girk from Snook High School. 1963 to 1966. Let me tell you something right now. Them two guys right there, Greg Powell and Gelvin Gerke, from 63 to 66 and 65 to 68, that should be an asterisk by their names in the first damn place.
Wow.
You know why? Because that was before integration. Integration was in 68. So these would understand what these records were. And you know what? Think about how long these have been standing and the population of those schools, what the attendance was. You guys can help me out on that. What classification is Snook? What classification is Shelbyville? What classification is Crum?
Jim, what's the leading scorer have? How many he have?
The leading scorer, I remember him.
How many he have?
Troy House.
Okay.
He went to 3 different high schools. Ingram, Leakey, and Blanco. Look up Blanco High School, and you tell me the population of Blanco High School. Troy House has 4,500 points in his career, 4,518 points. He was 1987 to 1990. My point is, nobody has scored this many points. Nobody has scored remotely close to this many points since Daniel Gibson in 2000 to 2004 at Houston Jones High School.
How many Daniel have?
Daniel had 3102.
So Daniel was the leader before LJ.
Yes. I
so LJ Cryer is the leading scorer in Houston history?
In the history of Houston, of greater Houston.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But a lot of those schools, understand, my point is this. The level of competition for which LJ Cryer is playing against. That's why I mentioned you these other schools, guys.
I got you. That's a good observation, Jim.
That's just like a guy being an all-time leading scorer in the NCAA history, and he's from the SWAC. No disrespect. Or he's from the Southland.
You was disrespecting the SWAC.
No, I'm just thinking because we're in SWAC territory. Okay. So I thought about what's close to us. Or Southland, because Greater Houston is in Southland territory.
This is amazing.
If he's at there, and guess what, the person in Kentucky, if the guy's averaging 40 a game or 35 a game in the Southland, does that equate to 35 a game in the SEC?
Good point.
You see? So my point is, it should be embraced.
Yeah.
And then we embrace stuff as a community like this, then what happens is it restores the electricity that flows through the community when somebody is doing something extraordinary. That's what happens. Not, well, man, what are you going to do next year, baby? Who gives a hoot? I'm telling you. Do you realize Baylor? I gave you guys on Baylor's roster right now. Speaking of Baylor, I have a hell of a stat that I had in my notes about Baylor, right? And I'm going to share this with you guys. And I want you guys to really, really store this. Out of the 14 players on their roster, right? 8, remember, once again, out of Baylor's current roster, out of the 14 players on the roster, 8 of them have redshirted. That includes 3 whom are redshirting this season. One of those 3 is the little kid, the Turner kid from Houston, that went over to Sunrise Christian. The Turner kid. He has a twin brother that playing at a JUCO or somewhere.
Jordan Turner, right? Jordan
Turner. He's just Jordan Turner. He's redshirting. You guys forgot about him, didn't you?
Yes.
You forgot about him?
Did he play with Chris Walker? Chris Walker basketball?
Chris Walker Academy.
Okay.
Right? Once again, of the 4 starters right now, 4 starters on Baylor's team who started last night, out of the 5, 4 of them redshirted. You're going to put that in your
That's a
So
help.
if LJ Cry gets to Baylor next year and he red shirts, that's part of the norm
Right.
of the culture of what they created in the championship caliber program. If they decide to red shirt him, 4 of the 5 starters red shirted when they were freshmen or at some point in time at Baylor. It's something to think about. Shout out to Jeff Johnson over on the east side.
What up,
I see
Jeff?
last night.
He did what last night?
And
what else you got, Jeff?
now I want to get this. So of course,
That's
speaking of
unbelievable.
Martin Rand,
Jimmy, I
just gave you guys those stats for the all-time career scoring list. And LJ Cry right now stands as number 5 all time with 3,390. Was it 33? Let's say 83 or 93. Yeah.
I got 33.93.
33.
Who's behind him, Jimmy? Who behind LJ? Who did he just pass?
He just passed a guy named Max Williams. You know what school he's from?
What school he from?
Avoca. Avoca. You ain't getting what I'm saying. Y'all don't catch my point.
I'm getting what you're saying.
All these powerhouse schools. Ain't no Houston Wheatley guys in there.
Nah.
This is of all time. Ain't no Cashmere's, ain't no Fort Worth Dunbars, ain't no Dallas Kimball's, ain't no Duncanvilles, ain't no Jack Yates.
Jimmy,
none of those. These are all small school. This is a small school category.
And what LJ is doing is in the modern history, in the modern society. What he's doing in a 6A school, the top division, like you said, the top division in Texas. Unbelievable, man. I didn't even think about it like that. I never thought about it like
that. Absolutely, man. And so that's shout out to him and his accomplishment last night. Eric Cry missed 10 assists on 18 for 25 field goals, 8 for 12 from three-point land, and 6 for 8 from the free throw line in a win last night to finish his last regular season in district play undefeated. Shout out to LJ Cry. Shout out to Tremont Mark over on the
what the young fella doing?
On the south side. Southeast side it is. Tremont Mark went for 36 points last night in their win. And he didn't play last game against Tulane, but he did come back and play. You don't want to leave him out too long and get him too rusty. Tremont Mark is not chasing. He's not in hunt for a career scoring mark. If LJ Cry was not in the midst of this remarkable scoring run, he probably would have rested. I
don't know, Jimmy. That's a machine. I don't know. That's a machine over there.
But still, you want to at least give him an eye. See what it does is.
Guess when he can rest? You can rest in the off season.
No, but this is your last season. If he wasn't, it's like one thing I noticed when I saw Tremont Mark, I went and saw Dickinson play Clear Lake last week. Tremont Mark was sitting next to the assistant coach. He was 4th on the chair, and he was acting as a de facto coach. And I'm told you guys about that yesterday.
Yeah.
But what it does, it enables you to see the game from a different angle. Some of your teammates, you can now see the ones that's not running the plays right or doing what they're supposed to. You can see some stuff from sitting over there, and then you can come back and you play a couple of days later, and you can help. Now you might need to get in the ball a little faster. You know this guy now. You can see things, and that's what I love. And I'm loving the way that Tremont Mark has handled his senior season. He hadn't been talking no smack. I'm talking about as far as whining.
Yeah.
He hadn't been complaining. He just been going out, and every time the lights has been bright, he's cracked somebody upside the head this season.
It's a great point.
And that's what's expected.
Yeah.
It don't matter who's better. This guy, that dude did what he's supposed to do. You tell me a time that he flunked the test. He didn't flunk. He hadn't flunked in a long time.
And Jimmy, your boy Mr. Katie is over on the YouTube talking about Jim. When Katie start getting basketball players, you know they know how to recruit. It's gonna be on.
Well, Katie has basketball. Remember, Katie went to state, the ISD, with Katie Tompkins a couple of years ago. So let's not even, and then Martin Ranch is a favorite from the same Katie ISD.
And look what Doug said. Doug said something key, and because I think Michael Jordan is kind of taking up for the older era. It's just, but I know your scouting reports, Jimmy, you have now. But Doug said when you're at the top of everyone's scouting report and you still put up numbers, you're a bad boy. Coach Jimmy, when people go into that game against LJ Crowd, don't you know that coach that said somebody on the scout team that had a number 4 all week? And wherever he go, you do this to him, you go do this to him, you go do this to him. But Jimmy, don't nobody have that Da Vinci Code to stop this kid because he can score at all 3 levels. You just said something. If his shot is off, what he going to do? He going to drive by? He's so strong. And then he can float it with either hand. I mean, off balance. Give you some contact because he got a strong body. It's just, that's why when people said something, a long time ago, a guy came on our show and said something about, well, just LJ, well, he's just LJ. Man, I didn't know this guy was this lethal. This kid gets better and better and better. And guess what? And I know his dad kept saying he got something else in the tank, Robert. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I think the kid got something else in the tank, Jimmy. I think he has. I think he got that, that reserve tanks on the foreign cars. You go down to eat, then there's a reserve. That man got a reserve tank around his joint, man. But we can move on.
That's Jaguar right there. The old school Jaguar.
Yeah.
Tank.
Yeah.
And so shout out to LJ Cryer and Mon Mark and the rest of the guys who are out there getting busy at this time of the year. Also, I want to give you guys, speaking of amateur news, we're on that back nine that time. How about the NCAA, right, has announced that they are seriously considering implementing the idea that the players can transfer one time without penalty.
Yes.
And this will be introduced in April. During the Final Four, they have a lot of meetings and legislative meetings and stuff, all type of meetings and workshops. Well, the council is going to meet
in April. Yeah.
And and if it's voted, they will vote on this. If it's approved, this will take effect in the 2021 season. So it means, I don't know how they're going to fine tune it, but basically all players will get one free transfer without review. What it does is it saves the NCAA a bunch of time and money. Time, meaning that they don't have to investigate the cases anymore for the first timers. Those are a lot of man hours that are applied. Sometimes they have to go in and read through this stuff, read the letter, the reason for the waiver that needs to be granted, type it up, the reply, send it out. That's a lot of, not just on the NCAA, but for the school and the family itself. If you're saving a person time, you're saving the money. Smart move for the NCAA, because this is one of the ways that can eliminate the excuse. So now everybody gets one mulligan. So now let's see how that transfer portal, it should tighten up. Now, it's still going to be the same numbers, but it's going to tighten up. I'm talking about for the second offenders and the third offenders or repeaters of that rule.
Yeah. That's unique.
So I like that.
Unique.
And, what'd you say?
LJ, no, I said it's a unique situation. Trey Phillips was talking about LJ Rose's mom and and Dr. Lane at TSU. Trey, I don't. He said Jimmy. Oh, I didn't put it up there. What?
I didn't see it, but I do know she's on the board of regents. I've been on that for since she's been implemented.
I
I
didn't know
did
she
know
was
that.
on that board of regents.
Yeah, I've been to that. I've been to that.
Yeah, he said,
Yeah.
Jim, did you see people going at her
No,
with
I
the
did
doc?
not.
Oh, okay.
Did
Oh, yeah.
not. Send me the link, Trey. Text me or something and send me
Yeah.
the
Send
link.
that link,
So
Trey,
I did not
so we
see
can
that.
see what's
But I
up.
do know she was on the board, and the board voted what it was 6 or 7-1.
It was 6-1.
Yeah, well, it has to be an odd number. I said 7-1, 6-1. That makes it an odd. It's always an odd number when there's board members. That way, it's no tie. That's why you guys know that. Just food for thought. But
Oh, she gave a scholarship to her nephew. So that was Trey saying. Trey, you got to give us more. Yeah, we got to look that up. We got to vet that before we talking about it. This Trey
Yeah.
Phillips now, y'all. It's not the chop shop. Ms. Rose.
and already the Yates and the Lamarck fans are going at it in the Facebook
Why?
full moon room,
Why?
saying that because Yates is expected to meet up with Lamarck High School in advance past the second round. In the third round, Jordan Ivy Curry. And the question Ron Wells is asking, can Jordan Ivy Curry play defense and offense for 32 minutes against Yates?
I mean, it's
see
possible. It's possible, but hey.
Well, can he do that and win? That should be the revised part of that question.
Jimmy, I got a little news, Jimmy. It came on right when we came on the show. Woj reported that that the Knicks won the lawsuit over Charles Oakley, and they said maybe now we can have peace between us. Now since I won the lawsuit, let's make peace. So I just wanted to throw. I had to give my New York Knicks take. You got this. We don't even have to go there that long. But hey, I got to talk about the Knicks. Long as Damon on the team. Long as Damon on the team. What else you got?
Now, I was wanting to add something about the NCAA.
Okay.
In case you guys didn't know. About this transfer allowing, this is going to pass. Let me tell you right now. They're going to pass this. So that means if you're a graduating senior, take a deep breath. You go to this college, wherever you pick. If it ain't the right one, you get one time to transfer without having to sit out at another Division I school. That's awesome. But did you guys know that as it stands right now, the current rules, that there are many sports in the NCAA that currently already have that rule implemented. I said it again. There's only 5 sports don't have the provision where you can transfer and not sit out.
That's basketball, football. What, hockey?
What, women's basketball.
Men. Okay, men's basketball.
And of course baseball.
Football.
That's the 5 sports.
Okay. I got you.
So that means you can do it in. You can
golf. You can do it in the golf team.
You can do it in golf.
The cricket team.
You could do it in
lacrosse team.
Volleyball.
Wow.
You could do it in. You could do it in lacrosse. You could do it in soccer. You could do it in softball. I mentioned softball. But just think, you can't do it in those 5 sports. And aside from hockey, which hockey has a whole nother set of rules, because in hockey, you could have an agent and still play. Something of that nature. So, but anyway, that's one thing out there, you guys, about the NCAA. That's a new rule that is on the horizon and is likely to get passed in April. How about this? How about the suspensions have been handed out for Prairie View in Jackson State.
Please don't tell me they gave a suspension for that wrestling match.
Had to. Charles McClellan used to be the athletic director at Prairie View. The current athletic director at Jackson State used to be the athletic director at Prairie View. Ashley used to be there.
Yeah.
Charles McClellan, who's the SWAC commissioner now, used to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a direct, a deep level of embarrassment from layers of involvement. So Charles McClellan handed down those two guys from Jackson State. They got 2-game suspensions apiece, right? As well as the one guy from Prairie View got a 2-game suspension. So those were the sentences that's handed out for those young men. That, you know, and one thing about it, Prairie View is still in first place. Those 2 suspensions are going to hurt. And I did find out that this is what security, and I say this all the time. If you go to a lot of these events, you see security be looking around so lax, like they're just stealing money. And this game had a technical foul with about 25, 26 seconds left on the clock. A kid had kind of, from one of the teams, had kind of shoved or gave another kid a hard foul. We'll call it like that.
Excuse me.
So when you get a hard foul and the game is already pretty much over and you have to call a tech, that's a warning sign. That's a red light. Security should be mounted up right there, ready, and following those guys do the handshake line on the outside of them as they walk through, because you know, if you just bumped me and I think you tried to hurt me, when we go in the line, I may bump you or may throw your hand away or slap your hand. It may happen.
That's why I think they should stop them lines, Jimmy. I think they should stop those lines. And some coaches almost got into it. Illinois got into it with the coach of some school. Illinois, they got into it. They got into it bad. I thought one of the coaches said, yeah, maybe they need to stop that, Jimmy. Maybe it's time. Because every week, if you notice, after those first girls got to fighting, every other week we seeing some stuff that happens. You know, there's a copycat society. You know how these people are, and everybody want to be on. I hope they don't, but I think they need to stop the line, man. Just go into your dressing room, because you've had a combative game. These games get physical. These games get tough. You know, these guys say stuff on the court. They was talking smack last night. In the Maiden Creek versus Martin Ranch game, it got a little heated. You know, right there in front of us, guy tripped the guy, then they kind of went at it. So it's I really don't. I mean, if it's just so hard, man, okay, I'll holler at y'all later. Y'all shake before the game, okay? Then after the game, go to your dressing room. Go to your dressing room.
Well, that's
our coach. Thank you, Frank. Our coach. Thank you, Kevin Freitman. When our played against Illinois. Yes, that's who it was. Thank you so much, Freitman. Jimmy, y'all need to look that up. That was a hell of a heated exchange. And then get what the coach said. Forget them. He said, forget them. Nobody shake no hands. Just go our way. Just go your way. Unbelievable, Jimmy. Iowa versus Illinois. Y'all Google that and check it out and see what you think about it.
And I'm reading some of the comments in the Boom Boom Room. And shout out to you guys. I see Herb Baker is over in the
Word.
to watch him live with the rest of the crew over there. I see him over there, guys. Keep it going. The comments are going, and also Trey has put up the link, and I'll be sure to check it out shortly.
Yeah,
Trey,
I'm looking at it now.
I also want to give you guys, shift gears. We go over to remember the NBA will not resume action until I think Thursday is when the games start back, and after the All-Star break. And on yesterday, John Beilein, as we talked at the top of the show, he's made it official. He stepped down as the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Right.
He's become only the third coach in the past 30 years to coach in the season opener and not make it through the end of the regular season. And he was preceded by, remember the old Ohio State, Randy Ayers, went to the 76ers, and that was back in 2003 to 04, and Jared Tarkanian, when he left UNLV and took over for the Spurs, and said, "The hell with this, I'm losing money being outside of Vegas. I'm getting up out of this San Antonio." But Bailey and now the waggings are circling. His name is already surfacing for one or two jobs. And could this have been in the makings already? Probably. And that is, one job could possibly be Arizona. One job could possibly be the University of Texas, as far as where his next destination, where his name should receive a lot of fizz. And the thing is, remember now, one of the turning points that ignited and expedited this demise was the coach labeling the players as thugs after a recent loss.
But he said it was a slip of the tongue. He meant slug. He said, y'all playing like a bunch of slugs. Cause thugs.
Have you ever heard say it before? Have you ever heard somebody call somebody some slugs before?
Well, I'm not a 70-year-old white guy either, so I don't know where he came from and how he talked. But thugs. So I'm trying to say, so thugs can't play because they were playing terrible. So thugs can't play. Thugs mean you're out there getting it in. These dudes out there stinking it up. And Jimmy, and you know what? I just think that, this was a terrible experiment gone bad. I never understood the move. Because Jimmy, you got to realize, in the pro game, in the college game, the coach is authoritarian. He's the last word. He's the coach. He's the demagogue. He's the everything. He's usually the highest paid employee in the state. Okay? A lot of ego go with that. Now you go to an NBA team, dude, you the last highest paid guy in this room. So it's certain ways you got to manage these guys. And you got to remember, this is almost a 70-year-old white man. Got to deal with a lot of young black dudes. But the owner just said, I can hire who the hell I want to. And hired that guy. So, I knew, remember when I said it on this show, I said, I knew it's going to be hard for him to come back from that. And they got the perfect guy who every time a coach get fired, Bernie Bickerstaff's son, Bernie Jr., JB is always there, with a catcher's mitt and always able to come in. He got 25 more games to coach the team. So it's a unique situation, man. I never understood the hire in the first place. It's interesting to see how. But think about that franchise. I talked about that franchise in the beginning of the show. How important having stars on your team. This is the same Cleveland Cavalier team that were perennial finals guys. Going to the finals. LeBron leaves, the valuation of the team falls. LeBron comes, the valuation of the team rises. This is a star-driven league, and stars is not going to listen to this 67-year-old man coming there talking all that stuff. It's just not going to happen in Cleveland. So that's my take on it.
Well, the thing that gets me is that the Cavaliers now is going to have to tote a lot of its remaining salary. They're going to pay him.
They got to pay him. Got to pay him.
And so it's just, of course they're going to prorate it and probably, but they're going to pay him. You quitting, and we're going to pay you. But at the same time, it probably was mutual.
Yeah, it was mutual. Yeah, it was mutual. I think it was mutual.
J.B. Bickerstaff has been named the interim head coach for the remainder of the season for the Cavaliers. JB, remember, he was up under Kevin McHale and took over after McHale was fired only 11 games into the regular season a couple of years ago. And Kevin Sampson was on that staff as well. Remember, guys? Remember Kevin Sampson was assistant.
Yeah, he was on that staff. Yeah.
And they were going to go and think about how what that firing did for the city. That firing, the Rockets ended up selling more tickets, ended up making a couple of transactions. They ended up getting and got a new owner at the same time around that time. Maybe in the range of that time. And the University of Houston has turned into a perennial top 25 program each of the past 3 years. They've been ranked in the top 25. And to let you know how legit they are, they've been ranked this year in the top 25 and has lost twice since being ranked in the top 25 and has not been removed from it. Once they put you in and think you're a joke, they will bump your butt clean out of it. They know that University of Houston is indeed the real deal as fabric, because there's no, understand, guys, we're seeing this. Think about it. This year's Final Four might be really goofy in Atlanta for the teams. It's wide open, and it won't shock many if for some teams that could get there. And really, you got teams like Xavier and San Diego State. San Diego State 26, 27-0.
Jimmy, Dayton.
Yeah, I said Xavier and
No,
Dayton
you
as
said
well.
Xavier, but I said Dayton.
Yeah, Anthony Grant over at Dayton.
Dayton got this guy, Obi Toppin. They're comparing him to Amari Stoudemire. And Jimmy, guys like that, because I remember Antonio McDyess. McDyess wasn't they weren't even talking about McDyess being in the draft. Man, Alabama went on that run. McDyess made money every round Alabama won. So it's it's gonna be. You're right, Jimmy. It's wide open. You got to play your way in this one.
It definitely wide open. What we do now is time, guys.
What we got?
Time for that mailbag. And thank you guys for sending a lot of the emails to us, and we get into some of those questions and comments, and we'll reply and respond and share our thoughts, as well as get your thoughts on some of these questions as well. The mailbag, if you have questions, simply email us, ChopShopHTX@gmail.com. ChopShopHTX@gmail.com. That's our email box. First question, which will go from the one that we had from yesterday, we did not get to, and I'll address that one first. And it says, does anyone have influence in the location scheduling for HISD district basketball games? I recently was at a game held at the Pavilion between Sharpstown and Westbury. The Pavilion, guys, is the old Forest Brook High School off Tidwell and Homestead. Sharpstown and Westbury was playing there. Although the game was fast-paced and exciting, I couldn't help but notice how it was sparsely attended. There's no way that game should have been held way out on the northeast side of town when those two schools are just a few miles apart on the southwest side of town. So what I did to answer your question on that is I went and spoke with the athletic director of HISD, Andre Walker, and tossed that question to him, because I thought I had an answer, but my answer wouldn't have been the direct it wouldn't have been as defining as what he told me. Here's basically what he said. He knows exactly there are some games during the this portion of the season, whereas when they make the schedule, they like to keep their arenas, the main three, Barnett, Butler, and Delmar, they like to keep those available in case, one, if there's any of their girls teams whose girls are week ahead, if the girls teams may decide they may have to play a tiebreaker. That means all three of those are available because you don't know which schools may want to play a tiebreaker. Or the girls may be going into their playoffs and they want to make sure that all three of those are available on the common nights that they have the playoff games. So that's a very understanding answer as to why some of the games would not be geographically favorable in such fashion. Uh, like last night, I went to see Madison play Northside. That's the old Jeff Davis. They played at the location called TJ Ingram. TJ Ingram is on the campus of the old Smiley High School. Well, that's far from Madison, but that's considered a home game for Northside. That game was for first place. Got there and watched it, and Madison ended up taking the victory last night. But after the game, they flipped, and Northside took first seed. Madison took second seed. They're both district co-champs. I've dashed out to Wheeler Fieldhouse. I put my Waze on so I can get 7:05. I got there just in time for Bush and Travis, and that was a good game back and forth, which Travis pulled out in the end. And there were about a half dozen schools, Division Ones, Adam, that were in the building watching Justin Hill. I don't know what Justin Hill finished with because I left with about 3 minutes to go. And because one of the coaches, was in town and saw what he needed to see, and we're gonna get over here. El Tiempo closed at 9:00 on weekdays, so El Tiempo, they got a new one right there in Stafford, right there by Will. Had a good one too. Great looking at that. So anyway,
I can't stand that play.
El Tiempo pretty good.
I can't stand that play. But keep going.
Yeah. Now, once again, in the building last night was University of San Diego, right? Abilene Christian, Morgan State. Can't think of the other two schools that were there. Was there watching them? Somebody, if that would help me. Here's my point. Justin Hill did not have one of the normal games that he's been having on the offensive end. And so some of those coaches, this is like an audition. It's your last regular season game. To let you know if one of those coaches really, if they came and saw you, they know it's your last regular season game. They're not coming back to your next game. Unless they really like what they saw and they bring the boss with them. They're probably not going to see you no more. If they liked you, they will offer you. That's the best that you're going to get is 5 Division I programs watching you on your very last regular season game. And the thing is, a lot of people, you're going to say, man, this guy's D1, and I think he's a Division I talent. Yes, Justin Hill. He's a finalist for the Guy B. Lewis Award. Yes, he can play Division I basketball. But when those people come to see you, you got to perform because you don't know.
Did he not perform?
He just didn't have that type of game where it's just like,
I got to have him. Jimmy, that's why you got to bring your game every single time. You never know who's watching. You talking about coaches be in the building. What about the coaches' friends that I've seen at games? People that know these coaches that I've seen in games. I don't know what he's talking about. Live feed. My live feed working like hell. Michael Jordan said that. Jimmy, I don't understand it. I don't understand that one, Jimmy. That's a good one on me. But he, because I've never seen him. That's another kid. I've never seen Travis play, so I don't know. I've never, I don't know who he is. So, but I know y'all do. But hey, Hey, you just never know who's in the building.
You never know.
You just got to play hard. And guess what skill translate, Jimmy? Play hard. What I'm asking, did he play hard?
Yeah. I mean, no, he didn't play bad, but they're coming to see. Remember now.
Guess what? Somebody just said Morgan State left unimpressed.
That's true. See, this is what it goes on. It all surrounds how the kid or the player was hyped up before to the college coach. This is why I tell you guys. And the more that you guys get mad at people for the lack of ranking, the more you're going to hype the kid up to make him be greater. And he could be that good. Could be. But if the kid has to know that this game is your audition, if you, remember, they got to win. But you have to put your fingerprints like on it. Like you have to be the guy to just take over. That's what they expected. Because you know why? One guy may have said you the best thing. One guy may have said, even though he's ranked number 12 in the city, that's too low. He needs to be top 5 in the city. He's as good as this kid going here or there or everywhere. That's what the type of stuff people say. And then what happens is the coaches leave, the guys who do all the hype and hype that coach kid up, know what they do? They're gone, scatting. They don't even walk the coach out to the corner. If that kid would have had a monster game, if he'd had a 50 or 40 or 30, hell, or 20,
it's a great point.
They'd have been walking the coach out,
That's a great
grandstanding with the coach, walking down to the floor. Point. That's what the guys do. I watch y'all.
Jimmy, stop. You need to repeat that again. There's some people in the back didn't hear you. They were back there blowing their nose. Say that again right there. What the coach...
If the player that you hyped up and the coach come to the game, and if this player would have just dominated, that guy is going to hang around that coach like they're on a date. Everywhere that coach go, you're going to see a guy walking right down the side of that coach after the game.
I've seen that coach.
Everywhere. Now, that kid don't do that. That don't mean he had to necessarily stink.
No.
But if he don't bust a grape, that guy going to go out one door and going to leave fast, and then the coach going to be on his own.
Wow.
I just pay attention. It happens all the time. You know why? Because they know that coach is going to say, you wasted my time. Had me coming over here to watch this dude. You told me this guy, first of all, you told me he was 6'2", and he 5'11", 6 foot. You lied on that. You lied on this, lied on that. You told me this guy could go and do all this right here. He's a defensive specialist. I'm just giving you a different thing. I'm not saying that, and I'm not piling on Justin Hill.
No, you just said he just.
If I did exactly,
yeah. What you supposed to come up here and lie?
What I'm saying is Justin Hill had an opportunity to play his way into a offer last night. That's all you can ask for now. So anybody out there that could say, well, they sleeping on him, they hating on him. He had 5 to 6 Division I's was there. That's on him now. You got to perform. Bottom line, especially when it's time. See, you can't cherry pick the games that you want to anoint or to identify for people to go and watch this film. No. They come in person, it's different things that those college coaches can see that the tape will never be able to show. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Shout out to Desiree Benson out there at the Chop Shop. She just joined us up on the Facebook feed in the Boom Boom Room. Romeo Maxwell is up in there. Bobby Benjamin is up in there. Bobby Benjamin says, Jay Hill performed every game I've watched him play. Guess what, Bobby Benjamin? Them 5 college coaches wasn't there. They was there last night. It didn't matter if he didn't average but 2 points a game. That's the money game. Good thing about it, you win, you get to live to see another day, and you get to see another opportunity. But for those 5, I'm not sure that none of them offered after last night. I do know that University of San Diego, they came into Houston with 2 guards in mind. And I spoke with them. The guard was Dalen Hamilton out of Klein Forest High School and Justin Hill. It was down to those 2. Spoke with San Diego. They rocking with Dalen Hamilton, and they're going to try to get him on campus for an official visit in the next month. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And I'm trying to explain to people, and people don't realize, I mean, you got to do something, just slow down. And I want to give. That's why I ask you guys, it's so important. When these college coaches coming in town, or when they contacting you, ask them. See, I think some of y'all scared to do that. Because when you might find out who's behind the mask, or who's behind the machine, or who has the influence that made that guy come and see your baby play. Ask people.
Maybe they don't talk to them coaches that much.
No, when them coaches call.
When
they call on the phone, you say, "Excuse me, sir, but how did you get my cell number?" I
had another mailbag. Don't forget it now.
So that I know who to thank. You know what I'm saying? And so I do know that Morgan State, as far as the plug, Marlon Lowe gave the plug to Morgan State back in December about this young man, about Justin Hill. How? Because Brian Merritt, who used to work for John Lucas, is the assistant coach at Morgan State.
Oh, that's right.
So Brian Merritt, who lived in Houston for a decade.
That's right. He was here because he was at the LTM. Yes. I saw a picture of him posted up at the LTM poll last night. Yeah.
There you go. Bingo. So I wasn't bulljack.
Yeah.
So so understand, God, I talked to him. I ain't grandstanding around the building with them coach. The coach want to get with me. They know where to get with me at. I don't go eat with them like that all the time. Many times, and Helen know that. He's seen me in action. A lot of them coaches, and I tell you guys right now, I may be the only guy in the country that's in the amateur basketball that routinely would pick the tab up if a college coach. I don't do it all the time. Some of them, they're in 8 that day. They got to get a meal. And they got to write it off on their per diem. But I'll pick up the tab because I know a lot of them coaches ain't got it like that. You know why? Because they already met with this guy or that guy and this guy earlier today. You done sucked them at Papa Do's, sucked them dry. And the other guy done took them over to Steak 48. The other guy done took them over to Ocean Air. Them guys ain't got no more on their budget left. They got to go on their personal money. I look out for them. Guess what? It comes back to me 2, 3, 10-fold. You know how? Because if I need a room at the Final Four, if I need a ticket to the Final Four, if I need this, I need to get in this part, I need to do this, I need to get in that. That's where it comes back to me. You see? Relationships.
Jimmy, did you get that phone call this morning?
This morning?
Yeah. From McDonald's. I think McDonald's, we're going to be one of the hubs for the McDonald's going to want us to talk about the game. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
And they go next week we'll have one of the guys from the McDonald's game is going to explain some stuff to you guys and the dunk contest and the 3-point shootout that will be held at Delmar Fieldhouse.
Okay. On
that Monday, not the Tuesday. The game is on that Wednesday. So on that Monday will be Delmar is the perfect setting for it. The optics in Delmar is going to look really good on television. That the court, and everything, the ambiance of it. So let's go back to that mailbag real quick. We only got a few minutes left.
We got a couple of them, Jimmy. I mean, I think it's from the same person. We're going to be anonymous, but he said if a summer team, and I want everybody to chime in on this, YouTube and Facebook. If a summer team has fees for the summer and my child always stays in the hotel room with me, always ride to the tournaments with me, always get fed by me. Am I wrong for asking the program to pay less than the parents that just drop their kids off?
Well, yes, you're wrong. First of all, if you whatever you establish in the agreement when you first join that team, and that's your fault for not asking the questions or establishing what if I bring in myself, what if I bring in my own hope, because they have to make that team have to plan in advance when they schedule that trip to schedule so many hotels they would need. They're allocating two to four players per room. Well, if they didn't know your son was going to stay in that room, then they could have made adjustments and maybe add another player to the team to help fill the budget and or to fill that financial requirement. No, not in the middle of the race. No, no. Now later on, it'd be good to make a footnote and bring it up, but no, because guess what? You're just the parent. You're not. They didn't get you to the team. They signed your player or your player, your son or your daughter. You're not playing. So whether you come or not, that's something different. That's just an added amenity. So absolutely not. It's not. That's not cool to do. Not cool at all.
Okay, got one more.
And
Got
what
one
we
more.
got?
Part two of that one. If your child used to be a ball beater and has now developed into clearly two, if not the number two, or if not the best player in the program, non-sneaker program, is it okay to tell the program you're not paying a dime this summer? Or am I wrong? Don't want to be a PGW or fracture long-term relationship. In other words, Lil Johnny done got better. Okay? Lil Johnny done got better. It's time for him to cash in, Jimmy. Huh?
Man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something. And this stuff is getting out of hand. If that's the case, when you know that your kid has gotten to that stage, you know what happens? Teams will extend that offer to you. Once again, when you decide when you know is when another team is gonna come and say, you come play with us, you ain't gotta pay for nothing. Right? And if even when they do so, you tell that coach to book the rooms, book the hotels, book the flights. Saying I ain't gotta pay for nothing. Let's book that stuff within 2 weeks. Because I mean, guess what? Nowadays everybody got a credit card. So why you can't book it right now? That's how you. Otherwise, you have to trust somebody.
No,
But
but what about the part that he's saying with Junebug upped his game? He should be getting the
that's
free.
according that based on
That's based on who's okay.
based on you.
Okay.
So you would know because we upped this game, then that means other people gonna want to lure him away. Other teams are gonna come shooting and fishing at you if
if Junebug yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. You're right. That's a good one though. That's a good question to ask, Jimmy. I think that's a good question. People just want to know. They look Junebugs and got a little bit better. So they think, no, man, you got to be elite, man. You got to be, you can't be the second mighty, but you got to be the best. Nothing but the best for the best. That's what I learned. But like Rick Brown said, they come for your kid. What else you got, Jim? We got a minute and 30 seconds.
Oh man, it's good. Last one said, are there any silent sponsors in grassroots basketball who would do whatever it takes to make sure that a stud athlete plays on a team that their kid is playing on? Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. LeBron
That's
LeBron James.
You know, I mean, we've had several of them. That happens all around, and it's not like it's. Guess what? Most of those relationships they transpire when those kids are in the elementary school to the middle school ages. So you don't know how good that kid is going to be then. All that guy, that the money guy knows is that his son or his daughter is friends, and they got to have a good relationship with that young man and that young lady, and it boosts the self-esteem of their kid. So that means their kid is having fun. Mike can't play a lick, but is having fun in the company of this young man or young lady. So guess what that family gonna do? They gonna foot the note. Remember Justice Winslow played with Steve Trauber. Steve Trauber's son, right? Went to Rice, and now he's in the representation business, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And but they had a room in their house for Justice Winslow. He had his own room now.
And Jimmy and they brought the guy Bridgewater from a whole nother. One kid, they brought a kid from a whole nother state and moved him here. I forgot the kid's name now. Played on that team. Moved him from Carolina. And moved the kid up here. These young kids, they moved the whole family, gave the dad a job. I forgot their name. Oh my God, they played with the hoops. Coach, that stuff, man. Hey, yeah, that happens. That's a good one.
And also,
B. Scott
one of
talking
the
about
guys,
Winslow didn't have money. He had a single mom.
no, yeah, he's a single mom. They was divorced. Ricky
Yeah.
Winslow and Justice's mama Robin, they had divorced years ago when Justin was small, and so Justice stayed with his mother.
Yeah, but he just had a room at their house.
He had a
B.
room. Yeah, he wasn't living there. He had a room because they would play on weekends, and then while you play in the midst of tournaments, you go home with them. So he had his own room.
Yeah.
And eventually, you just leave some clothes there, and they all go buy some more, and you leave those there, and you end up being your stuff. So it wasn't, they didn't try to take him away from his parents. It was just, I understand it. I mean, so that was one of those things. But that's just one of many. And so yes, Ricky Winslow, actually, remember, you guys, I refresh your memory. Ricky Winslow has been working with St. John's High School for almost a decade. Remember, Justice went there in the 6th grade. He didn't just get there to the 9th grade. He was going there in middle school. So that enabled him to be able to be accustom himself to the rigors of that type of academic environment. So, but yes, now another question is, Olga asked, what are the sponsored sneaker teams in Houston? Olga, great question. Thank you so much for asking it. When you think of sponsored teams, I understand what people mean, but technically, because some people would take the word sponsor and run with it. When she said sponsored sneaker teams, that means a team that is on a sneaker circuit that gets cash. A lot of teams get product, but gets cash from the sneaker company as well. You have Houston Hoops and JL3 or Nike. You have Houston Defenders.
JL3 a sponsored team?
Yes, some sponsored. They call a friendly deal, but some friendly deals get a check, but not nowhere near what the 17U EYBL teams get. They give them a little help.
Okay.
So to speak. So
one is semi-sponsored. Houston Hoops is sponsored. JL3 is semi-sponsored.
But JL3 don't have a 17U. So
they're not a 17 year.
So they're not on the EYBL.
Yeah. Okay.
They're part of the EYB, but they have a package.
Okay.
That they have.
Do the parents have to pay?
No, not on the top teams. No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Okay. Now JL3 will field at least 2 other teams that maybe it may require. I don't know, may or may not. They have a 13U and they may have a 17U, but not a EYBL 17U, just a 17U to play around the Champions circuit or something. Now, Team Harden is the Adidas team.
Okay.
So once again, Team Harden, Houston Defenders, Under Armour, Houston Hoops, Nike. JL3 has a deal with Nike as well. Other than that, in Houston, there are no other teams that get any type of financial. There are other teams that will get sneakers and product that such as the Drive Nation Houston team. They are a subsidiary of the original Drive Nation in Dallas. They're going to receive product, right? But that product comes out of Jermaine O'Neal's budget. You follow me? Like Team Harden, that team program, a lot of people don't realize, it made it easier. Adidas, the grassroots, wasn't sponsoring them. That money was coming directly out of James Harden's budget, based per his agreement. He's like, I'll take it. I got it. Don't worry. We wanted it that bad at the time.
Because they didn't factor it. When they did the deal, they didn't factor it in the beginning.
It didn't factor in.
Yeah. Rob Pelinka didn't factor it in that he was going to be doing this stuff for these teams.
So that's a lot of people. So that's kind of like, so you have to, a lot of teams with the NBA player's name on it, a lot of those, that funding comes from that player.
Yes.
Up under his account.
Yes.
You see? So a lot of things with the JL3, it's a different type of unique deal with Nike because John Lucas is under contract with Nike.
And John Lucas is one of the first Nike athletes, basketball athletes.
So you guys understand the dynamics, but I'm glad you guys asked the question.
It's a great question.
Any other team, they can use the word, and sponsored is right now is loose.
But Jimmy, if I don't have to pay a fee, I'm sponsored.
That's why I say it's loose, because people would take it and say we sponsored. Well, there may be one team out of every 10 teams, there's one roughly in the area that will have a parent that's economically advantaged. And that parent's looking for a write-off from his company. Well, they're sponsored. So then it goes further there, because sponsored just ain't good enough for some people. You ain't got to, because if that's the case, there are a lot of teams out there, let's say a lot, not a whole lot, but a lot, that have funding up under them, but people are looking right over them.
Hey, hold up. You know Ashley gonna get on you. You're only talking about Nike. When you get to but you did mention Adidas, Ashley. He said, Hicks, you Nike sponsor. Ashley messing with you, Jimmy. Says I'm gonna pop it on the screen. She said you must be Nike sponsor.
Oh, well, Ashley, in case so for Ashley to pose that question, that lets you know that Ashley's got all the way to the end, to the last lap of this track. And not understand that, to not even know about my history with the sneaker companies abroad. Nike, Ashley, in case you didn't know, I was on the scout.
No. She was asking, Jimmy. She just asked a question.
No, I'm not sponsored by Nike now. But in the recent past, I've been on the scout team for about 5 years. For Nike, for grassroots. I've also had Nike sponsor a couple of my events as one of the sponsors. So Nike has cut the check for me for my events. Also, Nike, I have an open product where I could go and request and get stuff, and they send out every quarter with Nike. And so now, meanwhile, Ashley, the reason I brought this out and then not to sing to you, but do you not remember when your son was in the 9th grade? Do you not remember Adidas came to Houston? Adidas contacted me because Chris Rivers, my relationship with Chris Rivers, and he put one of the arms of Adidas, and I reached out and called and got you and your son to come out and get free product from Adidas. And the testing that was held in the Galleria area. about 4 years ago. That's a true story. So think about
No,
relationships.
she just asked a question. I
Yeah,
misread it.
yeah, a lot of people don't realize
Yeah.
they may have forgotten. I had a lot of kids came out and got got product at a great time. That was Adidas who sponsored that thing.
Okay.
And once again, though, the relationship. So yes, that's now Michael Jordan asked, are any team sponsored by big baller brand?
Not that I
No.
know.
They're doing now big baller
They
brand.
doing an audit right now, man. They doing an audit of their business and how their business structure is, from what I hear.
and well, yeah. So yeah, and but anyway,
You know, I like that. Uncle, you in a good program. I did not know you were at TJ Ford what you said 7, 8 years ago. Yeah, I didn't know that, Uncle. Let me tell you something. I tell this story and I'm gonna tell it again. I don't know about all the program, right? But I dropped this little young kid off named Brunson Evans that couldn't play dead. Jimmy, I had to teach him how to do a layup. Couldn't play. I dropped him off at TJ Ford's. I said, man, mama, I trust him with him. Do you know this kid? He wasn't no little kid. I mean, he was about 13 or 14 when I got him. Jimmy, this kid is now playing college basketball. That's the team that played against St. Thomas a few weeks ago. I was talking about. This kid couldn't play. Listen, I don't know if his mom on here or not, but he couldn't play. TJ Ford and Tim Ford I don't know what they did to him. Now he's starting for Scheidner College. Look, Division what? But this kid, listen, y'all don't understand. He couldn't play at all. He didn't understand the game. And I know I didn't have time to teach him. So I sent him to TJ Ford, and this happened. So Uga, you say your kid's 7 years old. I don't know. Listen to me. Other programs, I haven't been as closely. I haven't seen that work from me to you. I've seen that with TJ Ford basketball. Not to slight no other program, but you have to go, Jimmy. Don't you have to understand? You got to go with what happened. I can only go through my experiences. And your great program you with, Olga. Great program you with. Okay.
And Jeremy asked, what about New Balance and Puma? And there are none sponsored by those in Greater Houston. And they are not. And Puma is making waves, but they decided to just go straight to the top.
Jimmy, you got a little echo over there. I don't know what you did. Something happened. You got a little echo, but keep talking. Maybe can't nobody hear me.
Make sure.
Uh-huh.
I'm just making sure. I'm cutting my Bluetooth off, making sure that was it.
Okay.
But and that's the whole thing, guys. It's once again, man. This thing is proven by the amount of teams now who are willing to lock themselves in to go and pay their money to be a part of a subsidiary circuit, which is great. But the amount of teams are willing to do that shows that deep inside all them years that you were really looking at these other sneaker sponsored programs, you really wanted to be them.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't, just like a TJ Ford, I think they've joined a network as well now.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it.
I don't know if it's Prep Hoops or somebody, but that's everybody. And I remember when one of the things that when Chris Walker was coaching, Chris Walker was getting a check from Under Armour as a consultant, and had his team. Now, of course, he had a product, so his kids were Under Armour at that time, his last season coaching grassroots. But he was going. He had the obligation to go. He was trying his hell to get up and play some of the other events as well. He went to Adidas event. But if you can remain, but it's hard because it's hard to keep your independence nowadays and still remain top shelf competitive, because once a kid attains a status to where he can be right at elite or higher, then he
gotta go, Jimmy. He almost gotta go.
Gotta go. So that's the thing. So you can't have it both ways.
Jimmy, I used to be upset. I used to be upset about it because I didn't understand it. When Rashid Suleiman left our program and went to another program, I didn't understand it at first. Now I understand. I understand. Sometimes it's time to go. He went over there. Hey, Duke wanted him over here, and Duke still wanted him over there. So that's a unique dynamic. But sometimes parents and independent guys, it's all right, man. What you done did, you done built up a kid and his confidence and his skills so great that the elite teams want this kid to play on their team. Man, that's really, I used to think they were stealing your kids. Now it's a badge of honor to how you develop your kid. And if you got a great relationship with that kid, you're going to still have a kid. Notice I said great relationship with him. So, it's that's a great, Jimmy. We way over time now. So, but what else you got?
I got to get up out of here. I got meetings today. It's every day today.
Okay.
But yeah, man, we go in that mailbag, and that's to keep that stuff going. And of course, B Sky. That's why we're not talking about the defenders. B Sky. We mentioned the Houston Defenders earlier. The 17U, they're sponsored by Under Armour. They get a check. And they get product. And the product is distributed down to most of the other teams. And I don't know the infrastructure of how the economics are set up with their subsidiary or their secondary teams. Mm-hmm. But the 17U team, you do not have to pay. It may not have to pay for the 16s or the 15s. I'm not sure. Yeah. And speaking of the 15s, Keith White from the Houston Hoop Stars has agreed now he's joined the Houston Defenders as a coach of the 15U.
What?
Keith White is now coaching the Houston Defenders 15 and under team. So that's news for you guys.
And guess what? Ashley, that's what I see what happened now. So you got to understand, Ashley and B look for those buzzwords. That's why Ashley asked you about Nike, because she didn't hear you when you said the Defenders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Line of guard, I cannot. I just can't today. Line of guard, is you responsible for that $44,000 a month? Boy, you guys in the Boomer Room, y'all don't forget nothing.
They so messy, man.
And
44 a month, Jimmy.
I might just get John Uri. I went to school. I know he's in school. But once the next holiday that they don't have school, I'm going to get John Uri back on the Chop Shop. This is about time for us to get our annually injection of John Uri.
I love him.
Our infusion of John Uri and his world. That's something different. That's what I say. But anyway, guys, thanks so much, man, for checking into the Chop Shop. I appreciate everything. Make sure you share the show to your families, your timelines, and your friends. You've been great doing it all week. I hope you guys in the YouTube feed, hope you enjoyed our inaugural presence in YouTube, and let us know what you think about it. Make sure you share it, like it, give it thumbs up, or before you leave up out of there, like that as well. And we'll see you guys in 22 hours. But thanks so much. Time to slide on down. Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing. Of course, Robert Allen, myself, Jim Hicks. It's date night. I'm up out of here, baby. Chop shop.
Go do your thing, baby. I'll holler at y'all later. All right. Let me hit that button.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in